Hello and welcome to Foundations of Business, Chapter 7, Management Roles, Functions, and Skills. This chapter, learning objectives, is to explain the importance of management and identifying three vital management roles, describe the planning function and outline the strategic planning process, describe the organizing function and differentiate among top, middle, and first line managers, sometimes called frontline management. Describe the leading function, leadership style, and organizational culture. Describe the controlling function and explain the 4 steps in the control cycle. Identify and explain 4 important types of managerial skills. And discuss the potential of cognitive automation in management decision making. Management is the process of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling to meet organizational goals. That's what management is. Okay? Managerial roles are behavioral patterns and activities involving and carrying out the functions of management, including interpersonal, informational, and decision-making roles. Interpersonal roles include providing the leadership to employees, acting as a liaison between groups, networking, and fostering relationships. Informational roles, gathering information inside and outside the organizational, sharing information. And decisional roles, facing an endless stream of decisions, some when need to be made on the spot. Planning function, establish objectives, goals for an organization, and determine the best way to accomplish them. Strategic plans, plans that establish the actions and resource allocation required to accomplish strategic goals, usually defined for periods of 2 to 5 years and developed by top managers. Here's a model that goes through the strategic planning. You start off with define the mission, vision, and values of the organization. And that means, why do we exist? And where are we going? Okay. So why do you want to start a new company? Or what does this company involve? East Central University, why does it exist? I read an article last week that said if universities do not reinvent themselves, 25% of them may disappear within the next 3 to 5 years. So these questions are extremely important for many universities. We have 4,000 to 5,000 universities, colleges and universities in the United States. If we lose 25%, that's more than 1,000 colleges and universities. So it is extremely important that the leaders of these universities and colleges take this step one extremely seriously and start going through this once again, even if they just did it a few years ago, because COVID-19 changed everything. Who are we as an organization, and what do we stand for? Then, in other words, what is our difference? Why does East Central University exist? And what is the difference between our university and all the other universities in Oklahoma or in the Midwest or in the United States, for that matter? What's the difference? What's unique? The University of Phoenix did this, and that's when they started to create the largest online program in the country. That was their review and what they said that they're there to do. And that started the whole craze of online education. That was about 20 years ago that happened. Number 2, perform a SWOT analysis. SWOT stands for strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. The strengths and weaknesses, that's internal. What are the strengths and weaknesses at East Central University? Okay. Then the opportunities and threats, those are external. What opportunities and what threats are there out there that we can either take advantage of or that we need to avoid? Develop forecasts. Where are we going to be in a year? Where are we going to be next semester? Where are we going to be by the midterms this semester? So we have to develop forecasts. Analyze the competition. What's Murray State doing? What's Southeastern doing? What's OU doing? What's University of Phoenix doing? And so on and so forth. What is Pontotoc Technical College doing? They may be a competitor. What are employers doing? They might be creating on-the-job training and their own online courses, or in partnership with other schools for online education as a means to keep uh, employees or attract new employees that really don't want to go to college but need to learn more than what high school taught them. Establish goals and objectives. What what is our should we be looking at number of students? Should we be looking at contact hours? Or should we be looking at new goals and objectives that we haven't had uh, in the past? That COVID-19 and this new 2020 decade has created, that we need to create new goals and objectives to match it. Develop action plans to match these goals and objectives, and then we start all over. Okay, so that goes through all of those. So then let's go down to here. So here's our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So strengths: respected brand, financial resources, strong management, design, patents. See, those are all internal strengths that an organization may have. You should go through it and see what the strengths of your organization are. Every organization has to have strengths, or it wouldn't have any customers or students or whatever clientele that you would your label is to get revenue. Weaknesses: aging facilities, talent shortage, narrow customer base. And again, all internal. Opportunities: new products, attractive merger candidates, new markets in Asia, all external. And threats are all external, with liability lawsuits, pending regulation, shrinking demand for existing products. Okay, if you just take higher education, liability lawsuits, well, COVID-19 might create a lot of lawsuits in education, whether it's K-12 or higher education, if the if people get sick, if people get put on ventilators because they're that sick, or if people die, um, that would create the opportunity for many lawsuits. Pending regulations. We have no idea what the new regulations are going to be because of COVID-19. That's the top of everyone's mind right now. That's why football basically won't exist this fall for in a collegiate level, probably in a high school level as well. And new regulations will come into existence to try and make next year a better year in order to have uh, athletics, sporting events. Shrinking demand. If you look at the demographics, Gen Z, which is the latest generation, is much, much smaller than Gen X or than the millennials. Excuse me. Um, so therefore, you have less opportunity to get students to come to your college or university, because there are fewer students graduating high school, because there are just fewer babies being born over the past 18 years. So the opportunity or the demand is shrinking, okay? As well as other areas that are causing the demand to shrink as well. Okay, but those are just some examples of those. So we went through all that. Organizing, process of arranging resources to carry out the organization's plan. If you say your goal is to capture a 10% increase in revenue this month over last month, that's great. But if you don't arrange resources for me to be able to do that, then it's just a wish. I worked for one company where they wanted me to grow the business, and I laid out 3 different business plans to do that, and they turned all 3 of them down. And so my question was, well, how am I supposed to increase business when you're not allocating resources for me to do so? And then I left and went back to school. Management pyramid, organization structural divided into top, middle, and first line management. And then here's a nice little pyramid of the same thing and who those people would be. And then it's top managers, their highest level. They're responsible for setting strategic goals, have most power and responsible for the organization. Middle managers, those in the middle of the management hierarchy, develop plans to implement the goals. Top managers. So top managers for us would be the Board of Regents at Russo, and then the president of East Central University, and then the provost, and then the other vice presidents, and then the deans, and then it goes down to the chairs. At some schools, they have associate deans, assistant deans. There's some schools that have many more vice presidents, although we have a lot of vice presidents. And then that would be your middle management. Would be, in our case, it would be the deans would be the middle management, and then the frontline managers would be the chairs of the department. And those are the lowest level of management hierarchy. Supervise operating employees, implement the plan sets at higher management levels, and of course, in our area, the faculty, the professors, would actually be the employees. We are not management. We are uh, employees. We are professors. We're not. We have no management, no administration. And leading, the process of guiding it, and should not be motivating. This book is incorrect. The word motivation is internal. Only you can motivate yourself. Okay? Nobody can motivate you. Just like nobody can make you happy. No one can make you sad. And they can do things that provoke that feeling within you, but only you can motivate yourself. And they can inspire you. So that word should be inspiring people, not motivating. Okay, so whenever you see the word motivation, and anyone using it on an external uh, fashion, they should be corrected. Motivation is internal, not external. Uh, so leadership styles, you have autocratic style, which manager makes the decisions and issues the directives down to the chain of command. Subordinates have little or no freedom to make decisions. So a lot of people call that theory X management, micromanagement, where the people themselves have no say in how things get done. Okay, so it depends on whether some people like that, where they don't have to make any decisions; they just do what they're told. Other people would rather have the freedom to uh, create something or establish a system to reach goals in their own way and not have to just follow orders. Democratic leadership, everyone votes. Laissez-faire means management just takes a hands-off approach unless something happens. As long as everything's going fine, they just leave you alone and let you do your own thing. Most universities are the laissez-faire. The state schools and other schools, smaller schools are more the autocratic. Some smaller schools are democratic though as well. So it all depends on your personality as to which one fits you the best. I already went through that. Okay, we're running out of time here. Let's go down to this one. I'm sorry. I did want to talk about coaching just for a second. Coaching and mentoring. Coaching, helping employees reach their highest potential by meeting them with them, discussing their problems that hinder their ability to work effectively. This could be just on an informal basis where you're just working side by side with them and you're just talking about things. It could be something in the break room or at lunchtime or something. It doesn't have to be anything formal. It can be formal, but it doesn't have to be. Mentoring normally is formal, and it's a process in which experienced managers guide less experienced colleagues. And usually that's a process that's written down. You have meetings. You go through a whole agenda on weekly, biweekly, monthly basis, and it's to help negotiate corporate structure. And then managing change, building a positive organizational culture. And the last one, creating ideal culture in your company, vision, company values, and the people. Hope this was a good introduction for you for Chapter 7.